Have a beautiful day. GM. On this beautiful day. Good morning to Web3 with Morocco, Sep, and Mando. Tune in live at 10:30. And it's all on Road Radio. It's a beautiful day. Have a beautiful day. GM. Rock Radio.
Yo, what up? Good morning, GM. Monday, March 27th, 2023. Look at that. Another beautiful day to have a beautiful day. I got my co-host in the house. OSF in 4K, 8K, 16K. I mean, I don't even know how many Ks. This man is crisp. He's silky smooth. I can even see the hair follicles with his camera quality. I absolutely love it. And I don't know if I'm seeing double, but there are now 2 skateboards behind the screen. So we have made some additions to the OSF background. Ed Mando, what's up, y'all?
So happy.
I love it. Dude.
Mando's echoing. Yeah.
Mando then. Of course. I'm
not doing this again. One of you guys had this happen last time. What have you two just stopped an echo?
My hands. No. Whoa. My hands were literally right here. And you didn't pull the tapes from last time as well. I'm just saying.
I mean, what could I possibly have done?
It's one of you guys. Hold on. First of all, let's fix the echo before we argue about the echo.
I don't think there is an echo anymore. But
there is.
I love how someone. Okay, so we're good. All right, so now we can have a conversation about the echo. Whenever there's a tech issue on the show, it's always you, Mando.
But I'm literally talking as it's happening. How can I be the one with the echo?
May it be that you may have forgotten to unmute yourself on Twitter, or maybe that you're plugged in to...
I am muted on Twitter. My phone's always over there. Yeah. It's one of you two, and one of you two has been a bad guy the last two times this happened. It can't have been me.
Monday. Whoa. I think no, it's good. We're good. The echo's gone. Maybe it's a YouTube thing at the beginning. Wait, maybe it's YouTube.
Maybe one of you two is a bad guy.
One of you two is the bad guy.
It's not me. It's you too.
Yeah, exactly. It's not me. It's you too.
Weird. That's weird on that.
Okay, so
I was just saying, Obi just looks so happy on the live stream now. Like he is just pleased as punch that this is all working out for him.
I am pleased as punch. That's a good way to put it.
You know what? I am jealous, dude. You look. It's like it's never-ending expenses.
Well, the only thing is when I move my head down, it goes dark. It's kind of weird.
No, you're good.
Later on, it will do when I
running your show is never. I was running the numbers. I was telling Vanessa, I was like, it's never-ending expenses. I have to buy new monitors because I'm on my monitors all day long. I'm gonna get the new, the 49 inches ones that are like crazy curved. Those are fire. And then I'm trying to get the camera set up and everything, but it's just never ending. It's like you always have to buy new gear. So you always gotta get something. But anyways, all right. Well, this week is already starting off with a banger. We got the energy. People are out here. We're both on YouTube and on Twitter Spaces as usual. If you're tuning into Twitter and you want to and you want to join on YouTube, you're welcome to. It's pinned at the top of the Twitter Spaces. If not, you can also just listen live. Audio on Twitter Spaces is just as good. But you know what to do. First of all, I want to see some GMs in the chat. I want to get my GMs selfishly, both on YouTube because I love how I can read them live, and I want to see them on Twitter Spaces as well. At the bottom right, give me some GMs in the chat. Hopefully you all had an incredible weekend. What's up, Dave Statler, David805, D Crypto, Michael Panigas, Archivo, Hefner, J666, Jello Bites, everybody, Bear Dude. It's starting to get a lot of people down there, and I appreciate every single one of y'all. So try to give some people some shouts here and there as we go. But anyways, I feel like a lot of stuff happened this weekend, though I wasn't super tuned in. So let's get right to it.
Daily Market Report. Brought to you by Rug Radio. Joseph, what's the word?
Yeah, it's kind of been a quiet 2 or 3 days actually, for once in crypto and traditional markets. Today, we're opening pretty much unchanged in equities. The S&P 500 is up 0.3%. On Friday, we had like a modestly green day in stocks. Interest rates have sold off quite a lot. There's still a lot of volatility in interest rates. 2 years up to 3.94%, 10 years at around 3.48. So we've had a decent move higher there since Friday. And that's kind of it in traditional markets. I think the next thing we're waiting for data-wise is payrolls, which we get next Friday. And that's kind of it for the next like week and a half. I guess I would keep an eye on bank stocks and the rhetoric around DB and First Republic and other banks and the financial services industry, because that can still be a point of stress. But it has been a quiet 3 or 4 days now in terms of headlines there in traditional markets. Crypto seems to be selling off a little bit, to be honest with you. I think we were at like 28K on Bitcoin this morning, and we were at 1770 or 1760 on ETH.
Terrible sell-off. Sell it all.
We've dropped to 27.3, 1737 on Bitcoin and ETH. Altcoins are not doing that great. We're down about 5 to 7% across the board there. So it does seem like we're giving back some of our gains in crypto in the last day or two. Arbitrum is one that I think people have been watching, that dropped on, I think it was Thursday, maybe it was Friday. I think that got to as high as like 1.5 or 1.6, but we're back down to 1.2 now. So yeah, definitely a bit of pain in crypto, and we're seeing an underperformance of crypto today versus traditional markets. I don't really have a good reason as to why. I don't know. Maybe some kind of a correction. But
Well, if you don't have a reason, I sure as hell don't have a reason either. And so, so I guess it is what it is. It felt quiet though this weekend. I don't know what it like. It just felt things are quiet. But I'm seeing some stuff. Is there something going on with Deutsche Bank? How are the banks doing? That's the question.
Nothing really much was added over the weekend. I think it was just a normal weekend versus the last couple of weekends, which have felt like huge things were happening both weekends, right?
Yeah.
It just went back to being a bit quieter. It looked like SVB, the remaining bank, has been bought out by another party in the US. Banking stocks today don't seem to be that bad. Like they bounced slightly, but nothing to probably write home about. First Republic, I think, was up double digits. I'm not sure if it still is. But yeah, a bit of a bounce in banking stocks today, but nothing nothing crazy. Treasury yields are slightly wider. It's just a quieter 24 hours, and not many big headlines from like the central banks or anything to kind of write home about. On crypto, I saw that Nvidia hit the headlines by basically saying it's going to put all its chip processing power into AI and just kind of completely move away from
basically
crypto.
the quote is cryptocurrencies add nothing useful to society, says chipmaker Nvidia. Tech Chief says the development of chatbots is a more worthwhile use of processing power than crypto mining.
great.
Yeah.
The US chipmaker Nvidia has said cryptocurrencies do not bring anything useful for society, despite the company's powerful processors selling in huge quantities to the sector. Michael Kagan, its chief tech officer, said other uses of processing power, such as the artificial intelligence chatbot ChatGPT, were more worthwhile than mining crypto. I
think that's what he said. I think the headline is obviously then far more aggressive, right?
I mean, he did say
currencies add nothing useful is not what he actually said.
Did he not say that?
I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. But
No, he did say that. He word for so his quote is, all this crypto stuff, it needed parallel processing, and Nvidia is the best. So people just programmed it to use for this purpose. They bought a lot of stuff, and then eventually it collapsed because it doesn't bring anything useful for society. Period. AI does.
Look, I think a lot of people have this sort of view. I think you're going to see AI and crypto pitted against each other as two big movements in tech.
Powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe there are some uses where I think provenance becomes important with with AI, and arguably, yeah, like for AI to function, you probably need a payment processing at a higher speed and more easily. But there is a lot to be said that AI is about to take the shine off the crypto industry. And the onboarding process, like we always talk about crypto having this horrific onboarding process. I think the onboarding process with using something like ChatGPT is just so much easier for people that I think it's going to get widespread adoption pretty quickly. And not to say crypto hasn't done a great job at like adoption over the last 10 years, but I think AI's adoption is going to be a much quicker vertical. I mean, I remember they had like 1 million downloads in the first few days, or something like that. You're going to see that sort of vertical line upwards in terms of adoption, I think, for AI here. And look, I think from his perspective, AI and for a lot of tech people is going to seem like a more interesting tool because it allows everyone to be,
of course,
far more, I don't know, have more ubiquitous skills. But crypto as the payment rails and or the monetary rails, I think, of society, maybe is a less sexy thing to talk about for if you're a tech person. And then it also being basically the new form of ownership rights in NFTs, I think again is perhaps going to be less, I don't know, enamoring for a lot of the tech industry, which AI for them will seem like it has more interesting applications. So I think you will see this quite a lot. I would be very unsurprised if the tech bros move very swiftly into AI and crypto is seen as playing second fiddle.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. But in my opinion, I guess there's more like they probably work well together, but I don't think one cancels the other. I think it's interesting when someone like that says like, oh,
Yeah.
that industry got nothing, brings nothing, and then but that industry is better. It's just like, can't they just like, I'm pretty sure we can use AI in the crypto industry. Like it's just another tool. Anyways, put me. It's just.
Well, I think it would be interesting to actually have a show on that, actually, like how they might interact. A bit
Yeah.
more. It's not like immediately obvious.
I mean, we've seen it art, AI art.
True, but I think for
for
widespread, that's more cultural, I think, and more niche. I think for like widespread adoption of how some of these large language models or how AI might use crypto in the future, I think it would be interesting.
Yeah,
there's been some talk about autonomous economic agents, but you know, I think we definitely should have a conversation about how those two could be linked. It's not that they don't necessarily need crypto, just like I don't think crypto necessarily needs AI. So I think we're going to see those interactions happen down the line rather than like immediately.
Yeah, it's just like they're so different. And so to me, it's just a weird statement by Nvidia's chief CTO, but it is what it is. Anyways, I guess that's about it on the macro level. Just quickly, Ovi, anything we need to look forward to this month? Because I know April's around the corner. What are we looking at?
I think we get PPI soon. I wonder when that's usually before. I think it's usually before payrolls or right after payrolls. I'll have a look, but definitely next Friday we get payrolls, which will be important. I don't see PPI.
Yeah, I have no idea about any of those days. So I'm assuming they're coming over the next
PPI is March 15th. It looks like so. Sorry, what am I saying? April 13th. So we still have a while till that. I'm guessing we get CPI after that as well. So the next thing will be payrolls, I think, which will be next Friday.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Absolutely love to see it. So I guess we'll wait for that. So anyways, let's talk about NFTs because there definitely was some stuff going on that front.
Who is the man, macro daddy of the land? Can you dig it?
Yeah, GM everyone. There was quite a lot that happened at NFTs over the weekend. I think firstly, if you just look at prices, like things are relatively stable over the weekend. I I think Punks and Apes moved marginally higher, but across the board, we're talking kind of plus or minus 5% across most of the major collections. I think Matchy got out of a huge amount of CryptoPunks over the weekend around the 57, 58 area, which were mainly moved to Punks OTC.
Oh, he's the same one who had sold him all the punks 15 ETH higher and then bought them all back 15
Yeah.
ETH for
Yeah,
what
exactly. Yeah. I think that he's a very seasoned market maker. So
he's the market maker. He's like the original market maker.
yeah. So look, not a great trade for Matchy. I think the losses are like 4,500 ETH now, across all of his airdrop farming.
Nice.
But CryptoPunks kind of migrated back up to the low 60s, I think, on Blur, and same for Bored Apes. Over the weekend, you obviously had the second trip, which seemingly went well. It looked like, I think was it 7,000 players were playing at any one time?
It was about 7,000. Yeah, it's about 7,000 people that showed up live.
Which is a very decent figure. On the back of that, I think you saw Mutants and you saw Bored Apes slightly rise. I don't know if it's in relation to that, but the other deeds dropped slightly. They went from about 1.5 to around 1.4. So I don't know if people were holding them into that event, but there were some Easter eggs there, like to be like some sort of like lizard dragon thing in the background, and I think people were airdropped a gift if you were part of the winning team. But I wouldn't say like a huge amount of alpha on the back of it. Like just some speculation about what might be next. This morning we got Gucci and Yuga Labs announcing that they are doing a multi-year partnership. It looked like the Gucci Grail pieces, which was a mint alongside 10k TF, were rallying on the back of that. But other than that, it didn't really feel like the Bored Apes really moved. It does seem like Gucci is going to, it says, take an active role in the development of Other Side.
It's interesting how I know I say that a lot on the show. I like when a brand does it from their actual brand account, not from like a separate Web3 endeavor. Like this is the real, like this is the actual Gucci Twitter, right? And it's right there. It's interesting, right?
I think it's really interesting. Gucci obviously had done a deal with 10k TF before, and I think that's
I have my Gucci ape. Those are up to 1.2 ETH this morning. I was looking.
Cool.
Crazy, right? Because it's just technically speaking, it's derivative. It's like my ape that I like Gucci-fied with one of the things I got like the crystal balls, whatever it was, which mind you, I got for free for being an original minter of 10k TF.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll take it.
I think they sold for like roughly 1 ETH. I remember when it was roughly 1 ETH.
Look at this guy. He's cool, right? Crazy. I mean, look, the bid is at 72, but like if you go to parent collection, these are looking at 118 right now.
Yeah. And then, I mean, it's interesting that, I mean, Gucci's owned by the Karen Group, and CryptoPunks did the deal with Tiffany, which is owned by LVMH. So it's interesting to see like both halves of Yuga Labs, his main IP, doing deals with two different big like titans, I would say. But I'm sure, yeah, Gucci, this won't be small for Gucci. I'm sure this is a significant investment for them. And as they said before, they are going to play a role in the building out of the Other Side. I took a step back and just thought, you do a big deal with the Karen Group. There's a lot of talk about what is the eventual owner of Yuga Labs going to be. Is it bad if like a luxury house takes I'd say a larger portion of ownership of someone like Yuga Labs? Let's say if they were part owned by like Gucci or part owned by like Kering Group or LVMH. Is that a better owner than, let's say, Disney or?
What do you mean a better owner?
I think down the line, like I can imagine them selling part of the company to one of these bigger companies.
Oh, I don't know.
And then
now you're going far, but I can't even say you're talking your bags because you sold them. So
I don't know if that's even talking your bags, if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Like you've seen what happened with Clonex with Nike now. Although I don't think Nike is necessarily seen as a bad thing for Clonex, but it's just interesting to see like a luxury brand would that fit in with Bored Apes.
I think it's interesting to see that they're partnering with luxury brands. So CryptoPunks to me, it's normal. Like I get it, like the Tiffany and Co. collab, like because punks are kind of like they call it like the Birkin of the metaverse, whatever. Like in terms of assets, I get that. The Gucci part with Apes when they had first done it was a 10KTF thing. It was not a Yuga thing because 10KTF was not owned by Yuga at the time yet. And then and so that's when they had that's when they had announced it. Now I guess because of the acquisition, it's cool. I don't know. I find it really interesting and cool to see. I think it's fun to see like Bored Apes like get that Gucci collab because like you know how like people at some point calling like Bored Apes like they're trying to build in like Louis Vuitton or like the Gucci of like collectibles in a way of like of digital collectibles, while the punks were like that Birkin or whatever. So I think it's a perfect fit. For the apes, at least, and it's good for them. Look, it says Gucci and Yuga Labs are bringing high fashion to the other side. The luxury fashion brand said on Twitter Monday that it's teaming up with Yuga Labs, blurring the boundaries between physical and digital. Listen, I've never seen an ape wear anything other than a black hoodie, but maybe that elevates that front, and it would and I definitely welcome it. I think it's really cool. And then regarding the other side. And that second trip, so the second trip took place on Saturday, right? And then there was like huge Twitter space. It was hella fun. It was on Saturday afternoon with Dread Guy, and it was like hella people. It's almost like the 800 people left on Twitter spaces on Twitter were all there, so it was pretty fun. Literally, I realized on Saturday, I think it's like 1,000 of us left down here, out here, and so and it was really great. It seems like people are like were like kind of divided. Like some people were like on the camp and the thinking that like it was a little like long or boring or whatever, and they expected a little more from them and like little bugs. And then some people, those are not my opinions. I didn't play, I didn't partake. I actually slept through it. But from what I've listened, I spent like 5 hours listening. And the other rest of people are like, well, look, like being able to gather 7,000 true fans into this metaverse where most people don't even have like a product or whatnot is actually really impressive, and they've done it. And then lastly, I think that the clips I saw from it are so sick. Like, I don't know if you guys saw Bryson. His team was like, they took the lead at the very last second, then they lost. And then you have just Bryson's face just fucking going like absolutely crazy. Like, I just thought it was so cool. So in the chat, both on YouTube and on Twitter Spaces, you can tell us what you thought. I mean, Melissa here saying she played and had a blast. You see, like, a lot of people had fun. And the thing is, when I look at it, it's like, everyone's out there comparing it to Fortnite. Like, yeah, but Fortnite's doing this with game creative mode. You can go and create your world. And then we saw the Clone X guys, right? They did this Mount Rushmore kind of thing.
Yeah, I saw that. What was that in?
Well, now on Fortnite, which is super sick, is you can have creators like build worlds, right? And you can like, some people have been like uploading different worlds from different maps, from different games into Fortnite. So it's actually really impressive with Epic Games. And like, there's never going to be another Fortnite. That's why, like, I think we need to stop like trying to compare what other sides doing to Fortnite, because they're not. They're trying to build this world where people can like, all communities can like live in. It's interoperable. Like, if you read beyond the tweets that they put out, if you go on the actual news site from Yuga, they usually are way more in depth about their intentions with the other side. So I think it's really interesting to see like where they're going. Now, whether it's boring or not, look, I don't know. I'm not a fucking gamer. I'm sure Fortnite is more fun than the other side. Like, there's no doubt in my mind. But again, like, if you're comparing the two, that's pretty bullish for Yuga, because that's all people are talking about. It's like Roblox, Fortnite, other side. It's like, dude, like, chill. Like, compared to a fucking thing that's been around for less than 2 years, So it's been cool. But yeah, Fortnite's been fun because people have been just creating these worlds, and you can just upload them and play in them, I guess, which is super interesting. But the whole gaming space, you can feel it fucking brewing. Like, you can feel that the whole gaming Web3 is just gonna take the fuck off. Like, you just know it. It's just right there in front of us for the taking. You have some of the biggest brands on the planet getting involved. We know Epic Games is developing games in crypto on blockchain. We know like all these brands are getting involved. We know they have the patents. We know they're selling up the teams and hiring for them. So it's very interesting.
In some ways, I feel like it needed to become uncool for it to become cool again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was forced down people's throats. It's like, you've got to enjoy this, and like, you're going to make money from playing these games, and the games weren't that good, and the games were all also essentially Ponzi's, and there was just a bad first experience, and it became very uncool in gaming circles. But now you're seeing it slowly come back, I think. And particularly what you've seen is big Twitch gamers, like some of the top Fortnite players or Dr. Disrespect, like, they're starting to experiment with it. And so it's starting to have a bit more of like a niche cultural revival, I think, which is good, but I still think it'll take time.
Yeah. And it will take time, and look, it will attract the people. If with this little Dookie Dash fucking single like pointer game, like they managed to get Mongrel to fucking play and sell the thing for $1 million, that I wouldn't be surprised people go and play it. And again, like it's all about like the content that's made out of it in gaming media. And if it attracts people, like that Bryson clip had me like fucking feeling all sorts of emotions. And for what it's worth, I'll just play it on here. For what it's worth, I thought it was really cool. You know, I thought it was fun to see. I mean, just watch this. I'll skip, let's say the first 30 seconds. There, I'll skip like this part there.
Keep pushing, guys. I swear to God, we can do this.
So dramatic.
We're gonna fucking win it. We're gonna fucking do our best. Keep pushing, guys. If you hear my voice on Crimson, keep fucking pushing. We're down less than 20K. Oh my God, we're getting back. Let's go, guys. Fucking hell. Keep going, guys. Keep going. Keep going. We're right here. We're gonna fucking pass them. Keep pushing. Keep pushing, everybody. We're gonna go past them. We're gonna go past them right now. We're gonna go fucking past them. Keep pushing. Get those fucking points. No fucking way. Let's fucking go. No fucking way.
The chat. And so at the end they lost by like I think 100 to 200 points. But point being, like this, like to me visually, it actually looks good. And they're under 2 years. Other side is under 1 year, right? When the fuck did the other side launch? Is it a year ago? I don't know. It's probably a year old. I forget.
You seen these Binance headlines?
What?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Oh no. What's happening?
I
Do we
just
have
see
news?
crypto selling off. So
Hold on, what's happening? Yeah, well, you guys just gotta like not share what's going on with the rest of the audience.
Binance sued by CFTC.
What does that mean? Is that's just, I'm assuming that's I mean, crypto is literally nosediving. Crypto right now is definitely in the shitter.
Interesting, it's the commodities. CFTC is the
Commodities Fair Trading Commission.
commodities exchange. I thought it was based in Chicago, but looks like it's based in Washington.
So what's the breaking news here? And do I tap the breaking news sound?
CFTC is a commodities trading organization, and they are Binance is being sued by them. It's interesting. It's not the SEC. SEC is securities. A lot of people in crypto want to be viewed as commodities, and the commodities exchange is suing Binance. So maybe they think something should have been classed as a commodity.
It says Binance and CZ sued by CFTC over regulatory violations per BBG.
This isn't the SEC, which is like really strange to me.
Yeah,
like
it's a weird
this
one.
is the CF, like this is the commodities version of the SEC. Okay,
Got
which if this is by the SEC, we'd be like, oh fuck, everything's a security. But this is weirdly by the commodity version of the SEC. So maybe maybe each is a commodity and they're being sued.
I don't know.
Bullish.
I mean, look.
Yeah. Yeah, weirdly bullish.
Bullish.
Sounds great.
Sounds like Operation Checkpoint here in full effect. And sounds like this thing is for real. I'm telling you, Operation Checkpoint is for real. It's happening right now. And sounds like yeah, that's what it sounds like. Happy Monday. You know, in case you didn't have all your emotions already fucked up by 2023 being crypto and NFTs, Web3, whatever you want to call it. Happy Monday. I guess Binance. I guess we're gonna wait for CZ's tweet saying like "fuck the FUD" or something like that, and then everything's gonna bounce back.
They sued CZ as well.
It's the famous four.
Binance and CZ.
That's why it's four, right? I guess it's the fourth time. Is that
Going
why?
down.
Yeah, I mean that's why we're going down. But anyways, I guess we'll cover more of this tomorrow. But to go back into NFTs, crypto, of course, we just talked about this, and I see Bryson to the other. Shout out Bryson. We're just playing your clip. Fucking glorious clip. You absolutely love to see that. Sorry. I guess shout out to Tim Glacia, whatever it is. So they got this helmet. So what they get is like this, like wearable. So we'll see if that holds value or not. But anyways, in other news NFTs, I mean, we see Frank here. We got Frank. Let me bring up to the screen. What's up, Frank? GM King.
Yo, what's up?
Yo.
The Binance thing sucks, but JPEGs are still cool, right?
Yeah,
Fucking
JPEGs are fine.
I mean,
Okay, good.
so cool. I mean, at least you guys are selling JPEGs on Bitcoin, so it seems like those are a little safer right now.
Yeah.
No BNB degods coming.
No. Luckily, I know everybody else is on the Binance NFT marketplace, but we are not. So we dodged a bullet there.
Yeah, I mean, you dodged a bullet over there, it seems. I have no idea what's going on, but clearly it's having the whole market sell off. But it is what it is. Frank, that was also part of the news today. I mean, we put in little topic titles that we do every morning. Looks like you guys are doing the big move today, the big migration, huh?
Yeah, starting it off with Polygon and Utes today, and then degods on Friday to ETH. I mean, I'm pretty excited. We'll see how today goes. Would love to see some of the people here finally get a Ute now that you don't have to get it on Solana. Because look, you might not say it publicly, but I get this complaint privately all the fucking time, and I'm pretty proud of the way the team's put together this bridge experience. So I know that you have some stuff for Roke, and so I think you'll like it. It's like I think we got it down to 4 clicks working with Wormhole, and should be really, really smooth.
What happened to my Ute points? That I got my Ute.
They're transferring over, and I think this. Oh, dude, let's fucking go. So yeah, you'll see it pop up later today. I think we're gonna announce the time within the next hour or two, and there's a bunch of benefits too. So you have a chance at winning a Bitcoin DeGod if you migrate within the first 24 hours. And those things are going for like 30 bands right now, which is kind of sick. And there's, I think the Bitcoin DeGods right now have done 3 times the rest of the ordinals market, like all of the ordinals NFTs combined, volume wise. I think Bitcoin DeGods have now done 3x the rest of the volume combined. So that's going to be cool. And then, I think we're going to announce some stuff with DeGods that should get some controversy later this week as well. So pretty excited about
love to hear that.
This guy loves that shit. So first of all, definitely my co-host are going to need some mutes. Mando is quite the Polygon, where he's the Polygon maxi, so you're in good hands here. You're in the right place. Obviously, we have...
I'm the only person on stage who's actually bridged to Polygon.
Mando single-handedly, Mando single-handedly caused the original Reddit NFTs run with 1 tweet. And so,
make me do it again.
You're coming in today, then, Mando? Are you coming in today?
Why not? I've actually got funds on Polygon, unlike these two. So
there you go. He's got the funds. He's got, and his size is definitely not my size. So he's definitely got size. That's for sure. So you're moving today, and today is also ZK rollups, right? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, same day. Yeah.
Wow.
Vitalik had, I think, the first ZK EVM transaction, which is kind of sick.
I saw that.
So, I mean, maybe Vitalik's going to sweep. I'm, again, not saying that, of course. But, just putting the dots together, who knows? He's already got some stuff on Polygon now.
He does. Here it is. Yeah, Santi
posted,
right? Narb Trading posted, watching Vitalik make a transaction on Polygon ZK EVM and setting the gas limit to 69,042 is a great way to start the week. So that's pretty cool. Not gonna lie.
69,042.
Yeah, maybe that's a typo because I think they meant.
Yeah, it's
gonna be never mind.
Oh yeah, it is 042. It is 042. Come on.
Frank, what's the tone like in the community right now?
Yeah.
Like, how does it feel doing that move? Like leaving behind the Solana.
Yeah, so it's pretty intense. People get very emotional about like their blockchains, and so I'm definitely getting a lot of both excitement, but mostly worry, right? I think that right now the Polygon daily volume for NFTs is pretty horrendously low. And so I think that scares a lot of people. I think that was the same concern around the Bitcoin NFT stuff as well, where, it was extremely low. And then we did 1.3 million in the first day, which, on Bitcoin. So I'm not as worried about it, although I would love the support from anybody that has been excited about Utes and DeGods for a while now. I do think if we do kick off today with a ton of volume on Polygon, it's going to kind of FOMO everybody else to come over as well. You kind of saw it happen with the Trump NFTs, saw it happen with the Reddit NFTs. And so, would love the support there. But more than anything, I think with Utes, what's lined up for the next few months, it's going to be really hard for people just generally in Web3 and NFTs to not talk about it. So as much as I want today to go really well, I'm not going to stress over the day-to-day coming up with Utes for this first week as people are acclimating to EVM for the first time. A lot of the guys in the community have never been, on Polygon, let alone ETH. So we are airdropping everyone that bridges today 0.5 Matic so that they have enough gas to basically do anything. Like that should be more than enough to basically do fucking anything.
Matic can get you transactions for a lifetime.
Yeah, you're good. You could feed a village, of transactions, like not of actual people, but you could feed a village of transactions with 0.5 Matic. So should be fun.
So what's going on? So I have a selfish question. What's going on with tubes? Because I kept a tube. I was like, listen, I saw what happened with the artifact vials on ETH, and I sold them those too early. I'm like, I'm gonna keep a tube because nobody whatever. So what happens?
So tubes can't bridge because we spent a lot of time building like this burn and randomization contract on Sol, and so we didn't want to redo that. I'm going to announce it more publicly today, but yeah, basically your tubes are good to go. We don't want to fuck with them. I think some people were worried that we were going to up the royalties like we are with the other collections on them. But we're not. And so, your tubes are good. I do think you should probably get a Ute. I think you're going to be hyped that you have a lot of points coming up really, really soon. And so, I think
I have my 106.
I respect the thesis though. I respect it. It's the classic collector thesis, and I respect it, but I think we're gonna do some sick airdrops. So
there's more value. I like the way you guys have built it. You've built more. It's almost because they've been 1-to-1 almost the whole time. It's only a 20 SOL difference between the two. Yet there's only 1,600 tubes, but there's 14,000 almost Utes that have been swapped. It's 1,300 something, 13,000 something. So it's actually wild. You guys have brought value to the Utes so much that people don't want to speculate on holding the tube and missing out on the points. It's interesting. I like it. And so the degods are moving Friday. So both in the same week. Yeah. Fuck, dude.
I think the degods thing is I'm just excited to announce something with that should definitely just get people triggered. But I think in a conversation, in a thoughtful way. Because it's something that people don't necessarily like a lot, or that's a common sentiment on Twitter. But I think, it's going to be good. I definitely don't want to blow my load too early here with that one.
Oh,
you're ready to. Feels like you're ready to, man.
No, and that's a common problem that I face, and I think most people, my age, it's totally normal. But no, I'm definitely excited today for you.
All right, man.
Wow, that's pretty wild. I mean, dude, both of them bridging, and I like that you guys are doing the 0.5 Matic if everybody bridges on the first 24 hours, and I like the fact that you're giving some extra bonuses for the first 24 hours. So I'm gonna have to make sure. Where's the best place? I mean, obviously it's a question, but I know a lot of people are gonna have it. What's the best place to find all the info to bridge your Ute?
Yeah, so if you go to the Ute's Twitter right now, and the way it's the real Ute's Twitter, it's the big fucking box. It's a fucking square with a yellow check mark. So please don't get scammed on some fake Ute Twitters. So the pinned tweet has most of the information. And then today, all you need to do is literally just go to the Ute's website. And when we make the announcement of what time it's going to open up, and it's going to be handled it's a really intuitive flow that we've made here. And just click the fucking buttons. You're going to be good to go. It's made so that, the most absolute bozo of all bozos could do it. So yeah, I wanted to just make it really easy.
Yeah, it's so I can get over that last comment you made. Oh my god, so funny. But so it's all pinned at the top of the Use Twitter. Yeah, I'm gonna have to follow the steps. I guess I'm gonna have another NFT on Polygon. It's good. I like that. And you've brought back the paper hand, bridge tax. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I was gonna say the paper bridge tax, but now it's swapped over to paper hand bridge tax.
Yeah. So the idea here is it's pretty simple to me. I think that we want to make sure that there's a lot of trading volume, or as much as possible, on the target destination on the new chains. And so in a way, we're deprecating the Solana version of these NFTs. And there's many different reasons for that. It has nothing to do with Solana necessarily. It's more to do with how limited our team like bandwidth is, and to support like both Rust and building on EVM, I think is just like, it's not a smart thing for us to do as we're moving in this new direction. And so part of the disincentive to stay on Sol that we put in is after a week, we're going to up the royalty percentage to 33.3% on the degods and the Utes. And yeah, like you might as well bridge. We're covering your gas fees and for both the migration to ETH and for Polygon. So it's like free of charge. So yeah, might as well bridge that and might as well do it as soon as possible too. Because I think that the more Utes we get over there, the more degods we get over there day one, the more explosive the volume can get, which I think it's like mutually beneficial for everyone in the collection and in the community.
Yeah, I think
just try to think everything through of like where things can go wrong and try to build the right incentives for each step. And yeah, that's what triggered people. I made it bright red to make sure like people got upset about it, like color psychology. And I think that drove like a lot more. I mean, not I think, I know it drove like a lot more impressions around it. So I think more people know that it's happening today than they might not have if it was all too positive.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty impressive that you're moving both in the way. I thought you would wait a little bit for is it question, like just technical question. Is it easier to bridge all this collection from Solana to Polygon or to ETH? Like, is there one of them that's like technically speaking like way harder? Like,
I'll tell you this, since we're covering the gas fees, it's way more expensive to do it to ETH since we are covering your gas fees. Yeah. Polygon is way cheaper. So that I think is the core difference. I mean, look, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm the genius on this, any of the technical stuff. We work really closely with Wormhole, Kevin, and their team kind of handled all of the back end stuff. I'm just the pretty face on a lot of the tech stuff.
Yeah, no, that's cool. It's good on you guys to cover to send the 0.5 Matic and also on ETH.
So what's the latest with Rug Radio? So when I get to ETH, I'm trying to start sweeping some fucking NFTs and and look, I'll tell you the problem with my Rug Radios are and I know it's probably a meme, but it's in a wallet that I definitely don't want to dox because I have some pretty dumb NFTs that I've bought on there. So I'm gonna do a clean buy on the wallet from Coinbase and with my Frank degods.eth. And I'm gonna buy Rug Radio, but give me my fucking pitch right now. I'm excited to hear about it.
I'm being put on the spot here. I was definitely.
Our founder is not allowed to be put on the spot.
Actually, that would be. You son of a bitch. No, I love that. I love that. First of all, congrats on everything you're doing. I appreciate that. It's really good. And then second of all, on our perspective, I mean, there's a lot of stuff brewing on the Rug Radio side from pretty large partnerships that we're announcing in different verticals. So I don't know if you saw, but last week we announced our first sports show and like sports division to a lot of the stuff we're doing.
That's fucking sick.
Yeah, Buster's dope. So we have a sports show now focused on that with SoRare that we partnered with them for that. The next couple of ones that we're working on is gaming and fashion. The gaming one being closer than most people think. So that's a little bit of alpha. But we're going to make a move into that sector. And then like obviously like keep growing in terms of like the creators. So we have about 70 creators now, over 50 shows in different languages. So from Spanish to China to France. So we opened up Rug Radio China. We have 30,000 members there. We do 10,000 streamers live on Binance every week. And we have a massive Chinese community in our Discord and across.
Bro, you got to tweet this more. How is this not hitting my fucking newsfeed, man? You got to talk here because dude, I'm mad. If that was me, Farouk, I'll be tweeting every day. 50 fucking shows, like 30,000 people. Like, bro,
we have over 50 on Discord now. We have a 15,000 plus member community. We fully shift to a Rug store where you can actually use your Rug token that you yield daily for like spending it on different things within the store. So we're basically building like the Amex of points, but like for like within the space.
That's so fire, bro.
Where you can do a bunch of stuff with it and change it for a bunch. And then, we just had the DAO proposal go through last week. So we have a $1.25 million spend that was approved by our community. So for the next 6 months, we've been spending that money on like
buying degods.
I mean, you guys literally like one of your people could come and put a proposal.
No, I'm about to. No. That's part of my strat on ETH. Just as a meme, I'm gonna go to every DAO and just spend the whole DAO on buying degods, just so people have to debate it. I'm excited.
We're brewing. We're probably like I hate to make these things like statements, but I do think Rug Radio is probably like one of the most undervalued projects on the entire Ethereum blockchain for the reason that we actually have utilities and actually things there. Like we have a whole ecosystem that has already been built. Like from a DAO, we've proved to people we can run as a DAO. With token, like which is really hard to build with ERC20. I'm sure you're aware of that. Like we've proven that we can at least start building around ERC20. We have the right advisors and the people around us to support us. And then, you know, we have just a great group of like core holders, like whales, and even the people who hold One Rug, like they're like actual like diehards that have been with us since mint. So it's we have a lot going on. So if I were you,
Can I
definitely
ask the DJ question, and then I want to hear about Rect next as well. My DJ question is, in your opinion, what do you feel the next like catalyst, or if you design it in that way, is going to be? I don't know, like something I think about with degods and use too, but like I'm curious what you feel like the next big thing is. So obviously the PFPs with Corey Van Loo was huge, and that's I think the last time we connected on this.
Yeah.
But what do you feel is the next one?
For us as a catalyst, it's the next vertical we're opening. It's actually
That's
a big
it.
fucking
Okay.
deal. Yeah, for me, because the way I open it's like you picture like, let's say Fox, for example, right? They'll have like Fox News, Fox Sports, and in sports, that's Sports Deportes, right? They have it in Spanish, whatever. So it's all these different verticals that we're opening with partners. So we find a partner, we find the right creators, and then we actually build a whole new vertical around them. That way it brings a different stream of income.
Yeah, it brings a new audience too, huh? That's fucking smart. Yeah.
Now with the YouTube stuff, I mean, we're just 20 days in and we've done over 50,000 views and 3,000 hour watch time.
Oh, that's disgusting, bro. Bro, how are you not tweeting that? I'm swear to God. You need to get someone just straight up the Farouk
You know
stats,
what it is,
bro.
Frank?
The rug stats.
It's funny you say that because I was going through your Twitter this morning because I was like, okay, this is the week where I'm like, fuck it. Because I saw your tweets. I'm like, one thing I'm really good at and I've become good at is like actually operating. But that's taken away from me talking a lot. So I used to maybe talk too much, but I operate enough. And now I operate a fuck lot. And by the way, we're almost a 15-person team by now. Like we've really grown a lot. And we've been deploying throughout the bear market.
Big, yeah.
So like we're operating a lot, but we're not as good now at like, I guess like just talking my shit on my timeline. We do it on our newsletter. Like our newsletter is sick. Like everything is like the weekly Rug Reader recap, the wiki. We have a wiki.rug.fm, the Discord. Everything's really good. But I guess it's from a Farouk standpoint. I just need to talk more. But
my biggest alpha on this, and I think it's like something just naturally, and you've been in the social media game for a while, like just picking apart this Twitter algorithm, like, you know, ever since Elon joined, it's not like that much has changed. But when you lose, like a lot of people had their algorithm set to like the most recent tweets, you know, when you can do that. Now you can't do that anymore. And so the game is entirely hitting people's news feeds. Otherwise, it's like
it's for you.
They're just never going to see it. So it's become way more asymmetric. And so like you either get like viral tweets or relatively viral tweets, or you don't. And so my thing is like, I'm just tweeting a fuck ton now. And ever since like, you know, beginning of this year, because I think that's what drives people hearing about stuff. Because I'm sure everyone here is on Twitter pretty much every day. It's kind of hard at this point to like go off of the news feed, off of that feed. So you just want to, I think like the stats you're sharing right now would definitely go viral and like hit people's feeds and get people to go down your funnel, you know, a lot more. Just a thought.
I definitely need to talk about it more.
Yeah, we should do the alpha. I might drop too much alpha on this space on some of this Twitter stuff.
I'll hit you on the side about it, but we definitely need to.
We need to make you viral again, Farouk. We need to make you viral.
No,
again.
we do need to take. We need some fun. We need. I miss the Farouk days. To be honest, I need that back.
I've just been like on my grind. Like, you know what it is, Frank? Like when you're so forward facing, at some point you get tired of it. And it's just like now I'm building, like we're nearing almost $1 million of partnerships closed for Rug Reader within 6 months. I don't know another brand that's actually out there like having
that's disgusting, bro.
Of income like that.
That's disgusting.
And we're growing a company. We've just been like we've just been like hiring like crazy in the market where like a lot of people just left, and we create content every single fucking day on top of that, and we're all pretty busy. You know, so it's just like. It's just, I don't know. And then we launched STUBS. Like now people can claim free claims on this show and get art. Actually, the next segment is that. So it's just like we constantly have stuff coming out. We just got to like do the whole like, you know, degods and Utes approach to it. Like you guys, where it's like you make the announcements like a thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like, I just think it's like showmanship, right? Like might as well package something well, right? Part of buying an Apple product that makes it great is like the fucking unboxing experience and just like feeling like there was thought and care put into the way something's released. Man, it's so OP in NFTs when you like take that time to do that. I honestly think, like that huge lever point. And I think you're just so naturally good at it. it wouldn't be that much of extra work. It's just like, man, don't forget to do it. You know,
that's the thing. It's not that it's hard. It's very easy, I think.
Yeah.
Especially because we have the audience, right? We're lucky. Like compared to other founders, we actually have an audience and stuff, and that's something we're really blessed about. But it's just about actually writing the fucking tweet, and it's actually about writing.
I know, dude. People underrate how hard it is to write the right tweet, because especially like you said with the audience thing, it's a blessing and a curse. Because if you write the wrong stuff or the wrong details, or it's not worded properly, people take it in the worst possible interpretation.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it is a stressful thing. I totally agree, but it's worth it. You know, it's worth, because you can write the right tweet. It's just, I agree, it takes more time than people think, for sure.
It does, especially when you host all day. Like I have the morning show, night show. The boys have Rec Radio on Thursdays on top of that, then friends and this. It's just like you just like get tired mentally, and then you actually have to. I mean, you know what it takes because you run a company. You're actually like trying to hire. You're working with people, so you're dealing with people offline and online, and it's just constant. Like you know that tweet you wrote.
It's never ending, dude. It's never fucking ending.
Kevin, and how you have those like what's it called? The no when you have a fire to put out. What is it called? You just wrote about
no easy days.
No, okay. So me and so I have my co-CEO now that I brought in, similar to you and Kevin. I have myself and Loxley, right? No easy days, bro. Every day, at any point of the day, there will be a fire. No matter what people like. You guys don't see it on the other side of the camera, but like Ovi, Mando, I'm sure you're similar. But there's not a single day where I don't have a fire to put out. And some of them are bigger and smaller, but every day I will have to like drop my phone and put my attention towards something because there's just no other way. And it's actually really crazy. And so managing all of this, and we're pretty young,
deeply unrewarding too, right? I mean, like putting out fires, which is so much a part of the job, especially in this industry. It's like, that's just getting things back to status quo, right? And so it's like, I think that is for me, man. It's wearing on me for sure. Yeah, I feel it. It's because I want to drop new stuff. I want to be doing like the next thing. But when there's like an infinity number of fires, especially when you're trying to move fast and everything can't be perfectly detail oriented, it is a deep challenge. I think we got to talk though, because I think this Twitter stuff and like just trying to build in public and sharing these stats and like having no filter, it kind of is the strat right now. Like maybe it wasn't, you know, in the bull market before, but in this bear market, there's so much of bullshit. Like there's just a lot of bad content out there, and like people are actually so curious about the behind the scenes of a lot of stuff we are operating on. In a way, it is utility, you know, like just sharing the day to day of what you're doing and like why you're doing it. I think that people really enjoy that content a lot. Yeah.
I definitely got to share it more. We try to do it. I mean, we have our newsletter and stuff. Every week we have updates on like how much is in our treasury, the sales this week, this and that. We highlight community members. We talk about our partnerships. But even then, it's a weird market. People want that quick flip, like what's going to go up next. They don't understand, like, because when you buy Rug Reader NFT, I'm not trying to be the NFT you flip in a week. I'm trying to like be the one that kind of catches dust in your wallet. Honestly, I mean that. And like in 2 years, like you're like, holy fuck, like, you know, they've built an actual like monster of an ecosystem. But I also understand you need to have the good short and midterm like hype to match the long term. It's so tough. I mean, you guys, what the boys are with Red Guy and stuff. That's one NFT you're gonna need when you get into ETH.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I feel like that's like the most relatable one for all of us, especially on a day like today.
Well, these Recs never dip. There's no dips to buy. It's just,
we're in one now, but the whole market is, I guess. But
it's a good time.
Yeah. No, I'm hyped to hear that, man. Because I'm like, fuck. You know, coming from Solana, bro, I'm like, dude, these
one ETH, a lot of soul. Yeah, but you're doing fine, Frank. You're doing fine. You're doing fine. You guys are doing good.
I gotta like fit in the crowd. So I've been super conservative with spending money, you know, being on Sol, because that's kind of the vibe there. But on ETH, I'm like, man, even after SBF, I made the joke on Twitter. I was like, after SBF, dude, I drive a Honda CRV right now. And I was asking the community, like, damn, do I need to go buy a Lambo? Because I don't want to be associated with SBF. Like he kind of made it uncool. Now I'm like, fuck, it's really bad.
Right in between. You should get something right in between. It doesn't have to be the Lambo, but it doesn't have to be a CRV either. But if you like,
just get the bus like me.
Yeah, I mean, Ovi, even though Ovi still rides a double-decker bus in London, so you don't have to feel bad.
The double-decker, bro?
Yeah.
That's like the tourist one, right? What do you mean?
Yeah, it's that big red bus with like
they stop like every.
That's where he gets his Wi-Fi.
Fucking take pictures. That's so inefficient.
I mean, you're talking to two guys that got to where they were doing that. They were sharing bunk beds until last year, and Mando lives in Portugal for what it's worth. So it's there you go. Get a G-Wagon tax write-off. That's what David 805 is saying. Yeah,
All
you're
right.
in California too, so
Whatever the community says, I'll do whatever.
okay, so what car should Frank degods be buying next to upgrade from a CRV? YouTube and Twitter Spaces. Let us know. Let us know in the
It's
chat.
so fucked the way how ETH NFTs are so expensive that like I basically got to choose between a fucking JPEG that I'm never gonna touch or a fucking car that I drive all the time, and like I'm leaning towards the fucking JPEG. That's how you know how deep it's bad, bro.
I feel the same. I honestly feel the same. By the way, speaking of we were talking about the market and whatnot. So we were talking about CZ earlier. CZ tweeted 4. I love that guy.
No way.
Yeah,
I saw Mando call it, bro. I saw
Look,
him.
he literally put a tweet out. It says just 4.
Right.
You got to give it a retweet for the culture if you're in crypto. But so what does it mean? Because he's been sued for it's the 4th time, right? Is that so? It's just
I think it's the 4th time. Yeah, I think it's the 4th time. To be fair, ETH just bounced back. It got destroyed and it hit like 1680, 1690, I think. But it seems to have bounced back.
Yeah, I mean, it bounced back on literally CZ's tweet. Like,
Frank, are you coming to ruin another chain? Is this what this is?
Yeah, damn it.
You move over to ETH, we just tank.
Dude, I need this thing to keep dipping, bro. I'm stressing out right now on some of this, but no,
You literally came onto our space and that happened.
I'm gonna take credit for that bounce, guys. You're welcome to everyone in the audience right now. No problem.
No doubt.
You guys can mute on EVM now. So.
Let's see what Maddox at right now. Let's look into Maddox. Okay, you're fine. Look, Maddox recovering. I mean, the price of I guess he wants it to dip because the cost of the Matic is gonna have to send everyone. Depends on the prices right now.
Hey
and
guys, let me save these fucking pennies,
the 4th
please.
chain that Frank's going to.
Yeah, no, literally, I'm on 4 chains now. I'm on 4 chains.
The 4th
in Cardano.
Wait,
I'm
you're
2 chains squared right now, dude. I'm
Wait,
on fucking Bitcoin. I'm on
Solana.
I'm on Polygon, and I'm on ETH.
I guess you will be on Solana because of the tubes, right? Because that'll be your
tubes stay, bro. And I'm not everyone is gonna migrate their degods or their Utes, although they should. But like
Is there any benefits to not like? I know you want to see make an announcement. This stuff. But is there any like genuine? Like I feel it sounds like you're losing if you're not moving.
Yeah, you definitely are losing if you're not moving. And the thing is, like, man, I announced this fucking thing 3 months ago. Like, bro, like if you're still in the community and active and like you're like, oh, we're fucking migrating now. Like, is this happening? Like, come on, man. Like, it's not like we just said it a week ago and now we're doing it. It's been like 3 months. Everyone knows that degods is coming to ETH, ETH is going to Polygon. So now it's finally happening. People are like, what? I have to migrate? Oh my God. But I think my main message to the community this year, and I feel like you guys are on that same till after hearing all these stats, though the biggest risk that you could take this year is just like not taking a risk, man. Like all the projects that are like, oh, let's slow down, let's like ease back. They're getting fucking destroyed. They're getting fucking hammered right now, bro. Yeah.
I mean, these guys just had like sales that changed their lives, and they're working more than after the Bored Ape sales, the Mando and Ovi sold, and us like on my front same, like we're just like at it, and like we just help each other out a lot, and like I like how you and Luca have this like relationship, and I love that you show up for him and he shows up for you, and like I think we need more of that. Like I even picked up the phone, called Ice Bags last week. I'm like, yo, like how do I find a way to like support you more, right? Like as a person. As a founder, right? And like even like I reached out to a few of them and so it's just like I think it's cool to see like that, and also like founders getting together and being like, yo, like fuck it, we'll support each other, because it's very few of us like are actually there every day trying. Like even when I hear like the Yuga FUD over like, oh, other side wasn't fun, like okay, cool, what are you building? Like, and it's just like even some like, you know what I mean? So it's just like there's very few people that are actually fucking trying. And
dude, that's the biggest bar, man. It's like, especially the way that Twitter spreads a lot of narratives, it's just so hyperbolized to a point where I just don't believe 90% of the insane shit that I read, and like, I think that when you meet somebody else that's just a good person in the space, you got to just latch onto them. Because honestly, like it's kind of rare. It's not the most common thing, especially people that are doing the same thing as you, like founding a project, whatever it is. There's just like, it's not that many people. It's pretty rare. So when I met Luca, it was cool because we were around the same age too. It was like, fuck, man, I already just knew we were going to be really close. And over like these last 6-7 months, it's cool to like have a fucking best friend that's also doing his own thing. That is the best.
And you guys can both win. Like you guys are in a similar niche. Us is different.
Yeah, that was the thing because we're both competitive as fuck. So I'm like, we're trying to go number one. We're trying to flip Yuga. So like, no conversations happening there. But
maybe if you team
up
up
with Luca, it's all chill. Like we're both totally going after different markets there. Yeah.
If you add the floor price of a penguin and a DeGod, then you guys can try and flip Yuga. Maybe we do it like that. Like,
let's see how Friday goes.
I'm rooting for y'all. Look, I told you already months ago. I said the day you move to ETH, I'll think about getting into the DeGods. I've been to Utes forever. I think I was very early Utes. I've had my tube since like pretty much week one. So we'll see what happens there. We're gonna get the boys to get some Utes, that's for sure.
Can I ask a really dumb question? What's the difference between DeGods and Utes? I'm not like super familiar with the ecosystem.
No worries. So I mean, DeGod's 10K collection is the first one that we launched, and the goal for that is to really just be, the best membership club on the internet, and focusing more on like luxury stuff, right? And I think with Utes, it's just more of a builder project, and so there's equal rarity on all the Utes right now, and I think the artwork is also pretty different too.
Yeah.
But I think that both of them, what they have in common is they're just both two different versions of a membership club. Like DeGods is more focused on like fuck it, we ball. Drinking from shoes and just building a really tight-knit community. And I think once we get to ETH, it's going to be pretty undeniable. Like I don't think there's any community out there like DeGods, and that's why the Bitcoin mint to me was just so validating. And like I know that we've been the real deal for a while, but to go to like Bitcoin and drive more volume than everybody else times like 3 at this point. That's the fucking DeGods community, and that is like
diehard community. I was thinking about
diehard as fuck. And Utes, I think it's just a lot more blue ocean. Like I think that we haven't done enough with Utes yet, and big part of going to Polygon is that it's just layup city on these brand deals. Like they're all just dying for fucking like when is there going to be a project they can actually do something with and integrate with? And so like that has been incredible. All the conversations we've been in there. And I think that's more of the thesis around Utes, where DeGods, we're super selective, right? Around like if we ever were to do a serious brand partnership, like the one that we're doing right now is with a public hotel, because it's like the best hotel in New York, and we booked out 3 floors for NFT New York. And so it's just like stuff that again fits that niche. But yeah, that's kind of the difference between the two. Hopefully that explains it. I think we're gonna make the websites and the assets around it a lot more clear because people just don't know.
So what's like the floor on DeGods and like ETH?
About 8 ETH right now. And then
it'll be like one of the top projects on ETH.
Yeah, I think it's top 4 market cap in the world right now.
Marketplace on Solana to look at a floor. Like I'm so confused because I used to go Magic
Eden.
Right? Yeah, I know, but like it seems like most of DeGods now trade on Hades what?
No, I think it's mostly still Magic Eden. It's a lot of OTC culture. Like that's why I think we were able to unlock this Bitcoin liquidity like in a way nobody else was. Is I'm like super supportive of the OTC culture for the most part. And I think I'm excited to work on some stuff on ETH and EVM to bring over some of that excitement, energy on the OTC side, and just people trading, with each other to get different DeGods, add a little bit of, ETH or Sol or whatever it is to top it up to make difference in rarity. So yeah, Magic Eden's probably the best. But yeah, I think that it's going to be fun to see them hit on 7.5 right now. So
yeah, you guys have been pretty stable there for a while. I remember when you were doing Utes, it was around 5 ETH-ish.
Yeah.
You guys, what's impressive, it's been the big sales because most collections trade at, there's no more mids. So Blur killed the mid. Blur destroyed that. So you're either a floor or you're like, go for like something fucking rare as shit. And so you guys get a lot of these rare sales. It's
what
good.
excites me on the Blur thing is like, if you think about it right now, our top holder has 177 DeGods. And then after that, there's like 2 more with over, 1 more with over 100. And then after that, it's a pretty steep drop off and you get to like the 50s and 60s. So like, we just don't have a lot of whales that can kind of spread trade on Blur, as every other collection where a lot of whales early on ETH will buy up like 100 something. And so like, if the whales want to Blur farm DeGods, like they're going to have to fucking buy a lot and in order to get there. And that's what excites me where I'm on for us selfishly. I'm just a lot less concerned about the Blur dilemma, at least in the early days, first few weeks, and we'll see how it shakes out. But Yeah,
You
what he
guys
said,
thought
it's a
Payrolls
unique
share-
advantage.
share
I never
roles
thought I'd
yesterday.
say this, but it's a unique advantage for being on Sol for so long is that we're kind of coming in fresh and people haven't priced, degods properly in ETH yet. So just excited to watch it happen. Like as a fan of like NFTs generally, I think it's like just a unique story in NFTs, and so should be fun. But not here to just completely chill. But yeah, I am definitely fucking pumped for this new challenge. EVM, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Let's go. This is it. Yeah, I guess I saw so much of the criticism, but it's the usual people on when you drop the Bitcoin stuff, but it feels like it's a slap in the face when you do $2 million in volume there. And
Dude, and like 3x from the mint. Everyone's like the mint price is like
Right.
Gainsey came out with the tweet. I was so hyped. I was like, bro, 500K impressions off the rip right there. Everyone quote tweeting it saying it's not gonna sell out. You're gonna lose your money.
Yeah, I know. I like that. Listen, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I like it.
And like a few over 100K sales for people that literally minted their DGOD, their DGOD for like 8K. So yeah, I'm like super happy when I see that. And I think it's because we just did it the right way. Like mined the entire block, minted it out in the super fucking cool way where we literally forced Bitcoin to like we broke Bitcoin for a bit. There was there's so many fees generated by degens trying to mint this thing first on Bitcoin that another mining pool reorged the chain so that they could try to get the mining subsidies from that fucking block. Like that happened. That's fucking in the fucking history books right there. So yeah, I just think we did. And then we did the OTC. We literally, everyone was memeing the spreadsheets. We created our own spreadsheet.
Oh, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
So I talked about that for a while. We were going to have ZK last week, and it's my fault. I should have followed up with him. I want him to come and explain to me what exactly is going, because these guys were TradFi guys, right? So I was explaining, it's kind of like, feels like old school, like Wall Street type thing where you guys.
It's like an order book straight up. So people put in their collection bids and people put in their asks and they fill out the spreadsheet. And it's kind of fun because you post it on this Discord where you have like slow mode on. And so people get clowned for giving too low of a bid. It's fucking hilarious. It's like you get the clown. Right now the floor is like 0.92. If you put like 0.85, people will just start spamming you the clown emojis. But yeah, it's like whenever people are making fun of stuff where real money is moving, like the spreadsheet stuff, I got so excited because I was like, okay, there's something here. We just got to do it in the right way. So we use an Airtable, automated a lot of it, and it feels almost like a marketplace. I like the Magic Eden marketplace, don't get me wrong, but there's this salesman quality. So ZK, fun story with him. He quit his job because he made so much of fucking money, just taking a 3% spread on all of the OTC deals that he facilitated. But I've seen ZK in the fucking chats, and the boy is a salesman, and there's something cool about that, of having like a one-on-one experience, especially on a new chain that is like so nobody knows how to use this interface. Getting a one-on-one walkthrough to make sure you got your thing, you make sure you know how to keep it safe. It is that premium customer service that I think we're going to bring that same kind of idea over to ETH as well, and Polygon. Like I think OTC is just so real, and it's where the deep collectors and traders go. And I don't know. I think it's exciting.
I think that's really cool. No, that sounded fun. Look, I think it's I think all of this is really cool. Sorry, I was looking through all of it. I love ZK. ZK has been quite the proponent, and he's been quite the voice for the ordinals movement. And I think we just hit 600,000 inscriptions over the weekend too. Or was it today or yesterday?
Yeah, like 600,000 yesterday.
Yeah, fuck. This is
DGOD's under 100K. Not the flex.
I love that. All right, Frank. Well, that's been fun. Appreciate you for crashing the show today.
Thank you so much for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Anytime. You can come anytime, and I'll definitely take you up on the chats after. I'll hit you up, and we can try and see if we can cook, some cool stuff. degods and Rug Radio could be pretty fun. Maybe a big event for your big move to ETH. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm sure.
Now it's like we're actually in the same fucking ecosystem. Like, okay, now we're gonna be able to do shit. It's gonna be fucking fun.
I agree. All right, let's do it. Thanks, Frank. Appreciate you for coming. Boom! There you go. That was a fun little. That was a fun little. How do you call it? Segue, right? The show took. It's funny because we never really did a thing on Frank, right? On the show. Yeah. So it was kind of like a 2-for-1, and I was actually part of the news we're supposed to talk about today, anyways. It was part of it today with the Utes move to Polygon. So there you go. Which leaves the perfect amount of time for me to bring the next guest on, which is our first artist for the STUBS. there you go. We hell, I love the attitude. I love the attitude. I love the energy. Hang tight if you're in the audience on Twitter Spaces. Do not leave. You're not going to want to miss this. And already prepare your screens. rug.fm/stubs. STUBS. Stubs is where you want to go to right now, because I'm going to give you a quote to claim your free stubs of the day. Are you ready? The code for today's free stubs is actually already written on the screen. You just don't know which part of it is written on there. It's GDR tweets. That's the code today for the stubs. GDR tweets. GDRTWEETS. That is the code for today's stub. And to claim it, you just go to rug.fm/stubs. If you're a holder of any Rug Radio NFT, so PFP, whether it's the PFP, whether it's the Genesis NFT, whether it's the mentorship pass, but also if you have a DGens access pass from OSF and Mando's ecosystem, you are eligible to claim one free stub every single show. The way stubs work is very, very simple. It's pinned at the top of my Twitter, so I'm not going to go over it for an hour here, but it's very simple. Every single morning on this show since last week, we give a code at some point during the show. Could be before, at the beginning, could be at the end, could be in between. And then we give a code where people can claim one free stub per wallet. Today is 150. So I think on Mondays we give a little more. Usually it's 100. And then once you do that, you go there, you meet the requirements, you put the code in, and you claim it. At the end of each week, so that's what's going to happen this week. And I'm super excited to talk with GDR about that. For X amount of stubs, so it depends on the artist. We're going to be super respectful, mindful of artists and like how many artworks they want to put out there. Some artists want higher edition. Some artists want to make it very limited. We have to be respectful of that. And so we have a burn event that opens at the end of the show on Friday, every single Friday. And that's when you can start burning your stubs that you've accumulated for the artwork that the artist has made. And so every Monday, like we said, we're going to have a different artist on the show, let's say in the last 15, 20 minutes, to talk to us about their work, to talk to us about their art, to talk to us about the work they have created for us in collaboration with Rug Radio and for you guys, for the audience. And so we obviously have an incredible lineup of artists. It's actually pretty, in the words of Mando, hold on, let me find the clip here real quick.
It's fire.
And so, and so we definitely have a lot of stuff to talk about. So without further ado, presenting our first artist part of the Stubs collection, GDR. GDR, what's up? Good morning. How are you doing, my friend?
How's it going, guys? I'm so happy to be here. Super excited to kick off Stubs with you guys. It's going to be fucking awesome.
Dude, we're hyped. I mean, look, there's already 67% minted within seconds. I think yesterday, Friday, we broke our record. 2 blocks, right? 24 seconds to mint out the stubs. It usually takes about 15 to 20 seconds every day. And now we're already at 100. It's actually pretty much finished almost. So make sure you got the right password. And if not, you can relax. Every single day, we give 100 more. It's super cool. And there's also a secondary market for them. So on rug.fm/stubs, you can see the OpenSea link. And I think they sell for what? 0.025 right now on the secondary if you want to add them more. And look, you can game theory it. Some weeks you'll need more. Some weeks you'll see less. But if you go on the OpenSea, you can actually already see the piece of artwork that GDR set up. So GDR, I'm, first questions first. Who are you? Who is GDR? Talk to us about yourself and your artwork.
All right. I'm a multidisciplinary artist. I've been, like many artists, I've been an artist my whole life and have gone through all kinds of things in life that change it up. I learned how to paint, for instance, when I was in high school. And as I continued on, I moved into music. While I was doing music, of course, I was in like screamo bands and stuff in like the early 2000s. And so I was doing all the show posters. That means I'm doing all the Photoshop. That means I'm, putting up posters and putting together really bad music videos and things like that. Moving on through other elements of it, as I went to grad school, I started doing more sort of serious publication and writing, and I authored some books, another kind of genre of art. And as I moved forward in that, an opportunity came up for me to make a documentary about the refugee crisis. And so I went, basically took some of my experience from Vice and went and shot a guerrilla style sort of stream of consciousness conversation between refugees and regular people and aid workers all throughout Europe. And when I came back, of course, the thing that happens, to most artists is the funding fell out from underneath. I came back to New York City with €8, and I had to find a job immediately. So I got a job as a bartender at a Chinese restaurant in Astoria, Queens. And then I'm like, well, I have a camera, because part of the financing for the film was to have a camera. So I started shooting photographs. I move along in life, and I got to go back to Washington State, which is my home state. While I'm there, it's not quite as hustle and bustle as it is in New York City. So I started actually shooting flowers. From there, I started getting like digital publishing from Vogue, and they put me on their roster as one of their, preferred photographers. So then I was in this kind of limbo where I'm creating all of this kinds of artwork, and all it is just like providing, more things for Instagram to show as content so that they can get advertising dollars. Then, Web3 comes along, the digital art revolution, and things start popping. In my first year, I made it to the top 7 in foundation, in sales. And it was really wild to go from this thing where being an artist had always been almost a sort of somewhat shameful thing, so to speak, when it comes to like, oh, well, how are you actually making money? How are you making a living? That sort of thing. And then changing the narrative in a way where you get to the place where you can go to your employers and say, hey, I don't know if I really want to do this anymore. And they're like, well, how about if we pay you a little more? Like, all these different things unlock when an artist begins to like grow and have confidence in themselves. And that's kind of been a part of my narrative. And now I'm in this really interesting space where a lot of the things that I'm doing are bridging the traditional art that I grew up with and have admired, and of course the classics, and I have an eye for classical imagery, but I also have a love for digital art. And so now kind of the central element of who I am as an artist is really a kind of bridge artist, where I'm bridging many different genres of art and doing it in many different ways. So even the animation that you see here, when I found out we were going to do Rug Radio and we were going to do STUBS, I actually painted a 5 by 6 foot painting of this ledger that you see. And
I saw that. Let me share it. Hold on, it's crazy. There it is.
Yeah, it's a massive painting, right? And so, but what I wanted to do was sort of like really focus on what you guys were trying to do with Rug Radio, to make things as equitable as possible for people and accessible. But I also wanted to make it so that if people wanted to go on another level with me, they could. And so, the accessibility factor is as open and like rocking and rolling as possible for people who want to get in on STUBS with me. But people can also move up. For 1 Ethereum, they can actually get a very short run 50 count edition set. And with the set, now one of the things I'm doing with my art is I'm bridging genres between digital and physical, the traditional art world and the crypto art world. And I think that this is really an essential element to what we should be doing now. And I think this is something that we'll see a lot more artists get comfortable with, because right now, sometimes it feels like it's an either or. And to me, it's like, imagine if a carpenter comes into your house and you're like, hey, can you hammer a nail into the wall? And they're like, well, actually, people have been using hammers for 5,000 years, and I just don't use hammers anymore. And you're a contractor, you don't use a hammer. So it's that type of thing where I see my art having developed over time, bridging these things together in a way that really just says, no, I'm an artist. Yes, I'm a digital artist. Yes, I'm a painter. Yes, I'm a filmmaker. I'm all these other things, but really I'm just an artist. If I'm doing it right, everything that I do should be art. There should be a flourish to it, And so that's kind of the attitude that I've developed. and that I want to bring to, you know, everyone that I interact with.
I love that. I think this is super cool, and that's why I really want to make time. This is okay. This is great. This is gonna be really fun, and because we have a super cool person, Mando, right off the bat on the Monday, and a lot of people and shout out to Noah and everyone in the comments that are talking about the art. I see a lot of artists in the YouTube comments right now. It makes me really happy, and I find it so fun. And so I love that we get to hear about your style, your come up, how you came to New York with €8 and just like, pretty much a dream. Like, yo, I'm going to fucking make this happen, which is fire. And €8 in New York, I mean, it doesn't get you very far.
All the different styles are, right? Like you really do move between, like you said, you're multidisciplinary, but
yeah,
you look through like your portfolio or even your stuff on Foundation.
Let me see.
They're just so different to each other. Some of them are, like you said, like portraits. Like,
but big fan of the floral, Mando.
Yeah. It's just like a glitch pop art, like photograph thing, which I love, and you've done them a few times. But yeah, just really, really fun. How do you come up with all your different ideas? Like, or what do you feel like? Oh, I just want to do something different occasionally.
Well, really, it comes to tool sets that are available. You know, it's like for a long time I wanted an iPad so that I could do more digital art. That's specific, more animation based and illustrative, that sort of thing. So you see interlacing of those things. But where I really bridge it is in my new Fortunate Objects series, which the edition that we're doing here with Rug Radio is built upon. And if I could just explain real quick, Fortunate Objects are objects in your life that are vectors for change for the better or the worse. So like, for instance, you have a water bottle or whatever. In our case, we have the ledger, right? But there's all types of things that essentially, when they're when you think about them, you think about an object from your own perspective. But when something's placed in front of you, for instance, like a hammer, I have a hammer painting that I have, right? Every person who ever looks at a hammer will think of it in a different way. And when we're dealing with the medium of art, if I have a photograph of a hammer, it will make you feel differently than a oil on canvas painting of a hammer versus an NFT of the hammer, or if you actually have the hammer hanging as a sculpture. And so the medium, it's like Marshall McLuhan said, the medium is the message. And a lot of times people are actually sort of, they got horse blinders on because they're so built into a particular medium. So by jumping into these 4 different genres of art in the Fortunate Objects collection, I'm actually dispelling all of those biases that come from, I like the physical items only. And, it's like, I remember talking to collectors who disregarded digital art as just hype or cartoons. They didn't care for it because it was an NFT. But now we see digital art enthusiasts who don't even consider other mediums. But connecting with an object and its story without bias, regardless of the medium, is important. The medium shouldn't distract from the story, but it should rather enhance it. We have the central idea here with the ledger, for instance. The ledger is, in the artistic sense, a concept. There's one vision. And now when you have it in this series, it's 4 manifestations. So even the image that we have of the ledger is the photograph of the ledger interlaced with the painting that I did of the ledger, interlaced with my digital animation. So Mando, this is how I'm bridging all of these different art genres that can oftentimes seem unrelated or unrelatable, and actually bringing them all together, smashed in a way that is cohesive. It breaks down boundaries, and it also it allows the viewer or the collector to really be able to flex that they have an understanding that art is art, and that it goes across all these different disciplines and all these different genres, and it can have a unified feeling to it. It can feel very powerful, and to top it off, everyone relates to each object that I do in this series differently. And that's not my story. That's me handing the
and you
object.
have your story with the object. Yeah.
Yes, they have their own story. There are many people. I have a friend who has 2 Bitcoin in a hard wallet that he forgot the seed phrase for. That's misfortune, right? So the ledger can be a vector for misfortune, or it could be this thing that saves you when everything else gets hacked. So this is why it's so important. And it just seems so apropos to do the ledger as this piece of art, because it is a functional modern thing that oftentimes we might not think of it as a vector for fortune or misfortune, but now it becomes like almost that sort of Warhol-esque pop art iconography. And to be able to blend those things together, let people enjoy and come to their own conclusions and build their own stories from it is a really exciting thing for me. And that's why I really like the series. And that's why I've also made this special edition set Above and Beyond, if people want to do that as well. So I've kind of scaled this the way that, if you go to Burger King or wherever you get the small, medium, or large, you can go and get the value deal, the thing that everybody can get. But if you want to have that exclusivity, or you could think of it almost like Mercedes, right? Mm-hmm. Mercedes makes the smart car. It's this tiny little car, but they also make the Maybach. They also make Formula One cars, right? So you want to be able to provide something for everybody according to what they want. When you deal with certain collectors, they want that grail, they want that ultra exclusivity. Okay, if there's people who want that, then I have a 5 by 6 foot painting I will send anywhere in the world, give them a complete set, and they will have that master grail. And for others who want to participate in the Rug Radio set, then they can participate in the 50 count editions. And for those who just want to get in with the stubs and want to be a part of the collection, they can do the Rug Radio Stubs edition with us. And I'm good with all of those things. I'm super excited about all of those things.
I like that. What do you think about, by the way, people love you both on Twitter and on YouTube. I'm trying to put the comments about Ovi, like obviously you're an artist as well. And obviously you approach things in your own way with regards to editions and stuff. But like, what do you think of all this? What do you make of it? I think
it's insane. I think I have a lot of respect for multidisciplinary artists. I think like it's easy to get into your comfort zone and just do one thing and then feel fine with it and like not step out across different whether it's different mediums, different styles, like different disciplines. So I think that part of it is really impressive. But of all the things that you've done so far, which do you enjoy the most? Which do you feel like is the most you? Has that changed over time as you've picked up new skills, or like how do you feel about it now at present?
I think of it like a workflow and where I want to stop in the workflow. So I always begin with an idea, right? Unless it's like just pure illustration or animation, a lot of times I'll start with a photograph, and now even interlacing with AI and things like that. I'll give you an example. My fine art photography, I'm making photographs that look like Caravaggio, or they look like, the new classics. That's a series that I'm doing. And with those new classics, you would need a prop master. You would need thousands of dollars to get the proper backgrounds and stuff like that. So now I'm using AI to create backgrounds for me. Like if you went to see a play and they made all of the backgrounds and curtains and stuff, I'm able to actually do that. And it just like moves my workflow faster. But in terms of like what I like the most, I think really it's between painting and photography. Photography is how I've like gained some recognition and whatever you want to say. But painting is something that is really, it's something that I've always done. And even when I was in grad school, I wasn't painting on canvas at all. I had left that for high school because painting is expensive. Canvases are expensive. Oil is expensive, right? So, but while I was in grad school for several years, I was just painting rich people's houses. And what am I doing? I'm cutting a perfect line. I'm making sure I don't drip everywhere. I'm making sure I don't mess up people's furniture. So all I'm doing all day is creating these details. But ultimately, what I think is when you take a photograph, you take. And when you make a painting, you make. And I have a large print of Medusa that was one of my pieces on my wall, and I also have a painting. They both have their own aesthetic, their own vibe, their own feeling. But I swear to you, and it's a little bit woo-woo, there is a little bit of a glow that comes from a painting, like a little bit of that sort of like Shintoistic life
Like it
that
comes you feel like
yeah.
it comes out of it sometimes.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's not to say that any of the digital stuff that's there doesn't have value. I love it that, you know, this is the what is happening now is what is like released me, freed me, you know. But there's also an element to us that we, you know, digital work often desires to be manifested in physical form. And I think that's interesting because when we have, and I've really played with this, like as soon as I could figure out how to make Instagram filters so that people could project, you know, the NFT that I made for them, you know, at their dinner party, you know, looking at it through the phone. I did that as soon as I could. I made like wearable AR for the Medusa holders. So you actually, if you hold up, you know, the thing, you get the Medusa face. And I love playing with all of those different elements in ways that basically are like pushing and learning. I don't like it when I feel like I've stagnated or that I'm losing out on a new tool that could be really helpful or useful. Even in like my writing, obviously people talk about Chat GPT all the time, but I reference my material with it. I'm a writer. I've written many books, you know, I'm well educated, that sort of thing, but like you still want to bounce these things off and to be able to save yourself time and energy, especially as you were talking about Farouk earlier, you're always putting out fires. You know, that's the same sort of thing. When you're putting in the hours to paint paintings and you're painting like an entire series, like I've been working on, and even like the individual pieces that I've been painting for this 50 count series, I'm hand painting 50 smaller versions of this larger painting. So all of that's time consuming. So am I going to paint or am I going to like edit and re-edit my speech or whatever I'm writing for hours on end? You know, I have to decide which one.
Exactly. Wow. That's okay. People love you. First of all, we picked a banger, GG KD, of a starting artist. And this is really cool. I love it. So you're definitely multidisciplinary artist, from the books, to the painting, to the photography and everything. We have people saying they feel like quitting their jobs right now in the comments. I mean, shit is crazy.
Yeah.
The secret is you grab €8 and you move to New York, and then
That's
you figure it out. Sometimes when you put in the positions you put in, you know, in life, you really don't have a choice but to figure it the fuck out.
There's that Terence McKenna quote where he said, "That's the real key, the shamanic journey, and the true change is that you jump into the abyss and you discover it's a feather bed. It's not actually a feather bed, but he got something close there."
Oh, I love that. I'm gonna have to find that quote. So, which leads us, right? Like all this incredible, and that's why people are really loving the Mondays, and I knew it would be a banger, because we get to just stop and talk about an artist, which is different from like markets and news, and even Frank, you know, it's like it's different dynamic, right? So sometimes it's good. We got to bring more art into people's lives, into the space. So which leads us to today, right? Leads us to the STUB, because it is part of your broader collection and super cool. I mean, I shared it earlier. You can see it on Super Rare. You can see it on Foundation. You can see it on GDR's link in bio. That's where I found all of the links that I've been sharing on the YouTube stream. For those who are wondering, by the way, we're on YouTube as always, pinned at the top. We're always on YouTube at the same time while we're on Twitter Spaces. But which leads us, GDR, to these two pieces. So you didn't make one piece for STUBS. You actually made two, and which is great. And there's a reason for that. As you can see, there's the purple ledger, which was just talking to you about the whole like significance behind like, you know, a tool, and then giving it to you, and then it's your interpretation of what it is to you. And then there is the other purple ledger, but which is also, you see the RR STUBS, like the branding on it. So maybe you want to explain to us the difference between the two pieces of art that people are going to be getting. And then KD, I see your hands raised on Twitter. I'm going to go to you after that so that you can explain to people the different mint mechanics behind this first STUBS.
Yeah, absolutely. So essentially, you know, I wanted to make it so that people were able to get everybody gets the version, the OG version, the purple. And what if people want the Stubs edition, because this is like the first time this is happening, I wanted to make like little bit extra special piece that people could get if they wanted to commemorate this being the first one, because I believe in the success of this, and I'm sure you guys do as well. So there are going to be people who are holders who are going to want to maybe collect a couple extra stubs and then opt for the one that has the Rug Radio Stubs imagery. And I think that that's a cool way. I like to do this in my work. I like to be able to scale things for accessibility. And then as it moves along, it can go more towards exclusivity. But there's always room at the table for everyone, if that makes sense.
Nope. No, I absolutely love that. I love the fact that you guys, like did this like dual type of thingy. So KD, I'm actually going to go to you. Obviously, KD, for those of you who are not familiar, whether you're on YouTube and Spaces, is a person that is helping us out, the GM Web3 Rug Radio level, with all the artists and with the art. Yeah, I see GDR going like that. So he's helping out with all that stuff, setting him up for each week, and planning and organizing of that. As you probably know, it's a lot, right? Because we have artists lined up for 12. I don't fuck that. There's a lot. So it's 12 weeks, 15. I don't even know. It's weeks of them, and it's gonna be another 12 and 15 weeks, and another and another and another. This is awesome. So KD, talk to us about the different mechanics behind the stub here today.
So I just dropped something in the up above for everybody to see. Just put out a tweet with the links. So
did you pin that?
Yeah, I pinned it.
Okay.
So if you own a Stubs Mint Pass, the easiest way to do all this is every Monday. Our goal is at the start of the show, you can click on your Mint Pass and go right to the collection, and you should see the piece of art for that week from that artist. You can figure out who that artist is. It should show up in the metadata, etc. So all of the pieces for that week should be available to see on Monday. All of our burn periods are going to open at the end of the Friday show and be open all weekend. And how we're doing on this one, as you can see in my tweet above, the regular purple ledger, as GDR is trying to make accessible for everybody, is just going to be a single Mint Pass to get. The purple ledger Stubs edition, the special Rug Radio one, that's going to be burn 3 Mint Passes in order to receive. You are allowed to collect multiple of these. We will not be necessarily limiting people on like only getting one or anything like that. So this is, totally up for everybody. The only requirement here is the burning of the Mint Passes in order to get it. If anybody has any questions as well, I'm always available for stuff. And the last general thing that I want to say is some people may have noticed over the weekend, we did a small mint of Stubs Mint Passes. So we're going to continue to do this every single week. Before the artist actually comes on the Monday show, we actually set up that we're going to mint out exclusively a number of Mint Passes to their collector base.
Yep.
So that'll happen basically like on the weekend before their week coming up. And that's just a way to try to get their current holders, more opportunity to be able to collect, this piece that they're, allowing Rug Radio to put out as part of this awesome Stubs collection. So I'm super excited for it. GDR's art is awesome. I'm super happy that he was able to kind of jump on with us, and be, flexible with us to be this, first drop. I think it's super unique that we have this ledger piece as well. That's kind of leading everything, especially with a cool Rug Radio version. I think it's a really unique and cool things to start with, in terms of leading off this collection, and literally everybody, you have no clue what's coming.
I like that the end part. And so just quick TLDR, but obviously we'll remind you every single morning on the show. Don't worry if you miss something. You can always ask. You can always also just tag KD on Twitter. He's extremely responsive. He just replies to people all the time. So basically, this is how it's going to go. One stub equals to one of the regular editions, right? GDR, if I'm not mistaken here. And then 3 stubs equals to one of the special editions, which has the branding, the branding's RR stubs, and everything on it. And so that's how it's going to happen. So at the end of each week, the burn and redeem is going to open on Friday. So you're going to so on Friday, KD's going to come back on the show, and we're going to re-announce it and put the links out and put everything properly. But just so everything is always announced by us on voice. So don't get scammed, please, out there. Be careful. We always announce things on audio on purpose, and we show them on the screen usually so that you can see them, right? You can see us doing it. So I'll probably give myself I'll go through the process of burning 3 stubs on Friday on stage so people can see collecting it. And so that way you can see how it happens. So it's super cool. And of course, we were mindful of the creators, collectors at all times. So we do give stubs to their collector base at all times. So I do want people to be aware of that. And again, like that's all a different artist, different rules that are set by the artist, and we want to be super respectful. And so, but I find it super cool, GDR, that you did like 2 pieces. Like it's also for us, it's a test, right? You're our first artist. It's the first time ever Stubs is out, and so far it's been a success in terms of the claims. It's been smooth and everything. But now I can't wait to see the minting and the claiming process and the game theory behind it. Some people will burn. Some people will just keep stubs. Some people will see, and then each week we'll see how many stubs get burned, how many are redeemed, and whatnot. So definitely participate on Friday. I'm assuming the first ever stubs is special, right? There's some really special stuff to that, and we're really, really excited to be doing it. Look, we're friends of Ledger. We work with Ledger a lot at Rug Radio. We have some stuff coming up with them. We were there at the Open. So I love that you did a Ledger, because that's a little nudge at, like, you know, people that are really a great team and great people in the space that we already have ties to on GM Web3. So that's kind of the theme, right? For Stubs, it's like, we're not telling artists you have to draw this, but it's like, hey, something that pertains to your art and the Web3 ecosystem. Oh, nothing better than that. So GDR, I mean, so maybe some last closing words from you before we move on, and then perhaps you come on Friday for the last 10, 15 minutes. We have a little burn event. We get a little minting and partying going on.
That'd be fantastic. So really what I want you guys to know is please follow me at GDR Tweets on Twitter. And you can go right to the link in my bio if you want to find out and collect one of the 50 count, which is a complete set. And this is Rug Radio listeners are getting this before anybody else. So this is like right there, exactly right as people can see on the screen. If they see it, you see what you're going to get. That particular one gives you an even more exclusive one. And also the people who get this one with the paintings that I've done a 50 count of, I've actually made it so that there's rarity built into the paintings. If you go down just a little bit further, you'll see there's actually 3 different colorways at 3 different volumes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all 50 of the paintings and I'm going to put them into their shipping boxes before I put the labels on. So I won't know if you're going to get a Tiffany blue, a purple, or a green of these 16 by 20 paintings. So it's another way that I've sort of baked in rarity to this and to be more playful with it, because, and also it's nice to be able to paint different colors, because painting 50 of the same color would be not as fun. But yeah, come see me at GDR Tweets. My website is GabrielDeanRoberts.com. If that's too long for you, see me at GDR Tweets and hit the link. And of course, we're going to be talking about all of this all week long. And I'm just so very thankful to participate in this. It's a great honor for me to be working with you guys, and I'm super, super pumped.
I love that. Dude, we're excited to speak with you. Just a quick question from the audience, it seems. Do you drive a motorcycle?
I have in the past.
I don't know. They were talking and raving about you, and this guy for sure drives a motorcycle. This guy for sure, his kids are the coolest. Like, I'm just reading the
coolest, yeah.
Yeah, they are the coolest. I love that. Yeah. Before we take off, do you want to cap off? I mean, we gotta ask the question. I mean, we gotta.
Oh, the question.
The question we ask every art. Like, this is the. We can't end the show without the question.
Hey, this is the most important question of the show.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
What type of music do you like to listen to when you're working?
Black metal.
Let's go.
Oh, that's cool.
Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised? You're so cool. Like, it's probably so intense in there. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, there's that band Idols that's from the UK. I'm actually in the UK right now. And it's all just really like, ho, 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 ho. Yeah, it's really fun. It's great to paint to that.
Cool.
You know?
That's awesome.
This is so cool. I love that. GDR Tweets. And by the way, don't worry, in the future, we'll just start the artist segments earlier at like 11:30 so we can be done by noon, because we did keep people a little longer today, but it's our fault. And also, it's, blame Frank. Frank crashed the show this morning. The conversation was so good that we had to keep it going. But GDR, pleasure. Honor. I can't wait to finally become one of your collectors at the end of this week through Rug Video Stub. So I'm personally excited. I love, like, that's my little thing, editions. I'm like addicted to like editions from different artists. So I'm super, super, super excited about that. So GDR, thank you for coming. Ovi, as usual, banger of an episode. Mando, who had to leave us for a meeting also. And a shout out to Frank, degods, what they're doing this week. And to everybody else that's listening in to the Twitter Spaces and the YouTube, as usual, remember to follow Rug Radio on Twitter, but also subscribe on YouTube. We got some shit banging out there. Check out the shorts if you're ever bored and you want to doom scroll. Just doom scroll our shorts because they're valuable. And then with that, we'll see you tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for another episode of GM Web3 on Rug Radio. Let's go.
And it's a beautiful day to have a beautiful day.
GM.
On this beautiful day. Good morning to
There you go.
With
That's how we get down.
and Mando, tuning live at 10:30, and it's all on Rug Radio. It's a beautiful day
To have a beautiful day.
GM Rug Radio.